The doctors told me that there was pretty much a 99% chance that the chemotherapy and the regimen that I would get would eventually make me infertile. So fortunately enough, I was able to sperm bank before I started. But, I sperm banked on the very first day of my chemotherapy. It was the darkest day of my entire life. Well, 12 years later, I now have a pretty spectacular person with me today. So this is Lila. Say hi, Lila. It's okay. And Lila is what makes the worst day of my entire life, my darkest day, joined to the brightest day of my life forever. Last week, I was actually back in the hospital, but this time it's as the attending leukemia physician at Memorial Sloan Kettering and a junior physician scientist, using the dollars you guys raise here to try to find new cures, to try to understand the genetic and epigenetic codes that cancer cells have so that we can make new targeted drugs and beat this disease. So I ride for her, and I ride for a life where she doesn't have to worry about this.
Throughout the whole time my mom was battling cancer, she kept a positive attitude and kept telling me, Frances, I'm gonna beat this. Even when her diagnosis became terminal, she posted the following phrase on her mirror: life is not a problem to be solved, life is a joy to be lived. Since that first year, Cycle for Survival has gone from a fun event that I heard about that I wanted to participate in because it had a personal meaning to me, to a way to honor my mom and keep her loving spirit alive and keep the compassion and caring that she felt for everyone else going through my ride.
There is so much hard news out there. It's hard to even read the papers these days. But ours is a story of love, and it's a story of how love can triumph and how love can raise money to do science, to get people better.
I realized that you cannot have any idea what world-class really looks like until you see it. Sloan was able to know what the others couldn't. And why? Research. Pure and simple. The truth is, Ryan really may have been okay either way, but Sloan saved him at least 6 rounds of chemotherapy and likely a complicated surgery. Think about the cost and the toll that would have taken on him and our family.
We lost our mom 3 years ago, and I like to believe that her body lost the battle, but her energy, her soul, and her spirit are still fighting. And a lot of Team Giorgio has never met our mom. And it's amazing, and this is proof that she is still very much with us because they're all here today, and they have been here to support us. And so we, as a team, think that our response to this terrible disease and our response to pain in life is not to shrink and to give up, but it's to blossom, and it is to live more fully, it is to feel more deeply, it is to love more completely. And we are here to channel that. We're here to channel her strength. We are here because we have the privilege to be alive and to be healthy, and not everyone gets that.
Cycle for Survival, it's about the funding. It's about what we do for cancer patients that are currently fighting their fight that don't have a lot of options. But for us, I like to talk about how it's also about a community. It's a year-long community for us, and so many of my friends and family have jumped aboard behind this movement, and over those 4 years, unfortunately, have also been touched by cancers themselves. We all know how consistently cancer touches our lives. So if I can leave anybody with anything today, is when you leave Cycle for Survival, just like for Kelly and I, when we were told nonchalantly by a friend 4 years ago about this movement, tell somebody who doesn't know about Cycle for Survival when you leave. You have no idea what type of impact it can make, not just through the funding and the research, but also for the sense of community and the way to fight back.
The curveballs the cancer throws are cold, and they're cruel, and they're awful. And it can make us all bitter and angry. And yet, if we're strong enough, it can also make us stronger. It allows us thicker skin and broader shoulders. Charles, like Scarlett, and so many of my patients today, has taught me what it means to be strong. So why is Cycle for Survival so important? I'm here as an oncologist and a clinical investigator that has developed 3 clinical trials, thanks in part to Cycle for Survival. Patients that are alongside me today are part of those trials, and they are living longer and better thanks to you. So thank you, riders. Thank you.